intention that it will create an awareness amongst the research scholars, not only providing them the capability of presenting their work, an opportunity for presenting their work, but also for them to see what is done by others. A large number of the new generation are absolutely unaware of what another research scholar in the department does, even the person sitting next to them. And that is not a healthy sign. When we were research scholars, if you look at the times when we were there, and you just do a bit of analysis, you will notice that each of us had a publication with another research scholar student who was not necessarily, and we were not necessarily doing PhD in the same area, which means that we were working together on problems which were not necessarily related to our PhD. And we were doing this in addition to our PhD. It is not that we never had fun, we had huge amount of fun. As a research scholar, we had huge amount of fun. And however, we were very open to discussions with others, and if you see our time, if you see the publications when I, Professor Viswas, and several others who were there, contemporaries and research scholars, many of us had publications here on abstract topics, may be related to somebody's PhD, may not be related to anybody's PhD. The second thing I want to impress upon you is that when I was a research scholar like all of you, we all want to write papers. So when I wrote down my first paper and I showed it to my supervisor after about 1 month's work, I was so excited. I bought an old typewriter, and our thesis is all typed in typewriters. And I typed it out and showed it to him. He had a look, and with a smile on his face, he went to his cupboard, took out a book, and on that book he showed me. So I realized that what I had done was textbook material. But I had done it all by myself. And I was completely, shattered. My goodness, if this is my level of intellectual capability. So my supervisors taught me 2 things. So they said, they encouraged me first, saying that, look, you have done it all by yourself, though you have done it 30 years later. But you have done it all by yourself. So that's very interesting. But that's not enough. The second thing they said is that you should start reading things. You should start reading things in a broader way, rather than reading things only in your domain. So by starting to read things in a much broader domain, we were able to apply a lot of new mathematics to our work. And then, well, after about another 3-4 months, I had the courage to again write another article. So he looked at it and he said, this looks interesting. So he said, let's send it somewhere. This time he didn't open a textbook, but I was very scared. So we went to the library And he showed me a journal and said, let's send it here. I looked at the journal, I looked at him, and we came back and I told him, but sir, should we do something else? He said, why? He said, this is the best journal. No Indian from India has ever published in that journal. So he said, so what? We will get the best reviews possible from here. So we've sent it there. That time we need to send it by post and things like that. So after some time we got a letter saying that you have to revise and it looks good. And we were the first to publish from India in that journal here. So the second lesson that was learned in my early childhood as a research scholar was to ensure that you got your work recognized by the best people in the field. Many cases I observe now because of a large number of journals which are published in several shady publishers. All are called International Journal of XYZ, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 0, Volume -5, whatever. And everybody thinks that I've got a paper there, sir, it was reviewed in 1 month, they said you have found your paper so great that we will accept it. Let me assure you that as long as I am the director of that institute, those will carry negative marks wherever you apply. So please do not take a shortcut route. Even if your supervisor asks. This department has a great history in which research scholars who have eventually become great professors disputed with their supervisors when they said that, you've got 10 pieces of data, 9 of them match, 1 did not match, and let's not show this data, let's put it, this comes perfect. He said, no sir, that result has come. That result has come. That is the history of the ECE department. The third thing that I want to tell you, I tell this to you through a story. That when I became a faculty member, I had the good fortune of having very, very good scholars, very intelligent people, very bright guys, who hardly ever came to me telling, what shall I do? What am I supposed to do? What will I do next? My scholars never come and ask me, what will I do? They know what's the response for them. So then I had a colleague who was a young person who had a scholar who was older than him. So he came and told me, look, you see, I've got this first scholar who is older than me. Can you become co-supervisor? I said, no, it's not required, you can handle it. He said, no, just be there. You don't have to do anything. And so I said, fine. So after some time, he came and told me that come one day for a research scholars meeting. And you will understand my difficulty. So I went there. So the faculty member is sitting here, the scholar is sitting there. So I came and sat down at the side. And the interaction is happening. So I see the faculty member saying, so, this is how I think it should happen. So he wrote down a formula, diagram, and said, so this is what will happen. So the scholar said, how will that happen? So he said, no, your understanding is wrong. So this, this is how it derives to get this. But that does not explain this. So the interaction is going on, the supervisor is explaining, and the scholar is asking what will happen there. How will you do this? It went on for some time. So after about half an hour, the meeting was over, so I told the student, come and meet me. So he came to my office. He said, sir, isn't it some interesting work? I said, yeah, the work is interesting, but there is a problem. He said, what is the problem, sir? Any technical problem? I said, no, what technical problem? It cannot be part of your thesis, because if it is part of your thesis, I will not sign. So why, sir? I am doing research thesis. No, I will say this work is done by that person, not you. I have seen it with my own eyes. So it's not your thesis, it's this thesis. So I will not sign this thesis. So that fellow was in deep trouble. He said, Mar gaya, this fellow is now not going to sign my thesis. So I said, it is not your PhD, because I will not sign anything other than if it is your PhD. So he went back, and my other students have come and saying, sir, what have you done? He's chain smoking in the canteen and saying, sir, mera to gaya, life is gone. Why have I come here? I have a family, what will I do? Etc. etc. So I said, don't worry about this. Like I have scolded you in the morning, you will come and just shake it off. He will also shake it off. But he knows that there is a problem. So after 3 months, this is now he's becoming better. So then after 3 months, he said, sir, give me 1 month more leave. I want to go home. Yeah. So he came back home, and then first he wrote down a survey paper. A full survey article on the area of work, and he started his work. So then he says, I asked him, ठीक है? So ठीक है. कैसे ठीक हुआ? He said, sir, कामाक्षा पे है, आपका नाम मैं पूछा देके आया कि वो बहुत झगड़ा करता है. So please remember that the PhD is your PhD, not your supervisor, second PhD, third PhD, fourth PhD. Because if you don't do this PhD, then you will start doing your PhD with your first scholar. So the PhD must be your PhD. And this is what I told another of my students, who had told me, who came and told me, sir, काम तो चल रहा है, submit कब करेंगे sir? When will I submit? I said, you will know when you will submit. So sir, how will I know when to submit? Supervisor तो बता देते हैं when to submit. I said, you will know when to submit. So he said, well, how do I know when to submit? How do I know when my thesis is done, when I am ready to submit? I said, the day you realize that you know more than me on this subject, that day you are ready to submit. Sir, ये कभी नहीं होगा sir. You are PPC the grade, you know every topic so well, etc. etc. I said, चुप करो. Then the D-Day came, and after his Viva and everything, he's giving his thesis, signed my final copy. So I'm signing. So I asked him, याद है? This is the dialogue. He said, हाँ सर याद है. सच है? हाँ सर सच है. बोलने नहीं सक रहा हूँ आपको, लेकिन सब बात सच है. I know more than you on this topic. That is the test. You should be the person who knows the best about your work. So firstly, it should be your work. You should try and get it examined by the best people in the world. You should follow all the ethics. Then You should make sure that you know more than anybody on this world. And finally, after you have submitted your thesis and you've got your degree and you open your thesis, you should look at it and say, "Hey, this is useless." These are no use. What is this? Take note and start doing what is not better work. So these are the tests for a scholar. And if these tests are carried out by you during this whole process, during your free time, where all your other occupied time may be discussing NITV, Srinagar, then Kananya, mess food, cockroach, all that you can do. In free time you can do all this work. That's what we used to do. Once, in one of my students, how did you all fight your scholarship increase? All came, met me, we will do hunger strike from X day to Y day, etc., etc. This is how you all addressed. So I'm just seeing how the new generation addresses. So we used to get some 500, 700 or something. 650. We used to go to World thrice a week, 650 rupees. But then we thought that this was less, so we wanted a scholarship increase. So one day, to one of my friends, we were all there together. One of our senior professors said, "I don't see you in the first half in the department. You're only coming in the second half." So he replied, "Sir, with this scholarship, only one half I can come." So I thought that you all are fighting. You all did not come today at 9:30 because you all want 50,000 rupees for 6 days. I don't know. So we also had a scholarship raise. But, ethics, humor, your capacity to do great work, and your capability to mix with all kinds of people, and to remain authentic with whatever you do, it is absolutely essential. Especially to be a research scholar. Argue about everything in the world. Research scholars are generally angry with everything. Students are also angry with everything. You will stop getting angry. Once you get married and have children, you will stop getting angry. So my suggestion to you all is that this country needs us, needs you to do things by example. This department has a huge and glorious past. And like everything that we do in India, we should not only, whenever you are asked, what are you doing? In 350 BC, we did this. That is not good. You can draw inspiration from what others have done. But try to really attack, challenge, and solve the best problems. And this is the time you will have huge fun, I am telling you. Don't take so much load in life, nothing will happen. Load is coming for you. The facilities will grow and and we will try to provide more and more facilities. We have amongst you the opportunity to do really big things. Other than what you are doing in your PhD, I would suggest that you all sit down, identify 2 or 3 big problems that you all want to solve and attack it as a group. Don't get too overloaded with only your problems. Because you have really not seen the problems of others who have to work to feed their children and family. Day in, day out. Since we all have that luxury, it is important for us to try and change not only our lives, but the lives of others. And this is an opportunity which has been given to all of us to do things in a much better, bigger way. I will request that you all put up all your work. This is a chance to give the Department of Visibility. Create a web page where you all can put up all this work of, are you summarizing and making posters and things like that? So can you have an electronic version of this to be put up so that everybody can see? Does every research scholar have a page where they are putting up their work? Yes or no? Why don't you do that? You all must be having control of several computers in the department, isn't it? Don't ask for permission, just do it. Only don't put up posters of, such posters that I get a letter what is happening there. Have some daya on me. Otherwise, make sure that you all are the people who create. We used to have the students themselves as young faculty members and research scholars. We organized some of the top conferences here. So I suggest that you try to make a web page by which you put the visibility of your work. And try to think that whatever is being provided to us, we also have an obligation and responsibility. I'm sorry for my ranting a little while ago, but I thought that it's important for you all to know. It is important for you to realize that the Diksha Puller who has paid some money for your education while buying that soap has put some hope on us. So responsibility should come with us. Now I request you to look at that in a much more serious way. Please go on doing a lot of good work. I've seen the brochure, but the brochure does not contain the posters. So can I get a copy of these posters on a CD or something so that I can get to see what people are doing? Thank you very much. Have a good day.